You are listening to the Creative Talks podcast, presented by the Architectural Authority magazine.
She said hello, I said hello, and she's like, what are you doing here? I said, well, actually, you are here for me. And she looked at me and she started laughing. And she said, yeah, well, I'm here for a company, Citco. They do marble in Italy. We're doing a collaboration with them and we have a show. So I said, Zaha, Citco is me. I am Citco.
Wow.
And she looked at me shocked.
This episode is sponsored by our partners at Citco USA, with the largest selection of marble in all South Florida. Visit Citco's showroom at Doral and enjoy their extraordinary design collections, including iconic works by renowned artists such as Zaha Hadid, Anish Kapoor, Ferruccio Laviani, Ora Ito, and many more. The Creative Talks podcast is here to help you succeed in the world of architecture and interior design. It shares authentic, personal stories about the highs and lows of running the business. Tune in for real-life experiences and gain actionable steps to achieve your own goals. Your host, Cindy, is ready. Thank you for joining us, and let's get started.
Today I have the honor to sit with Camiran Rasool, the founder and CEO of Citco Italy, an Italian company established in 1990s and located in Verona's Marble District. Under his leadership, Citco has become renowned for its innovative marble designs that blend traditional craftsmanship with contemporary aesthetics. Mr. Rasool has collaborated with esteemed designers such as Zaha Hadid and Norman Foster and many more, resulting in unique marble pieces that push the boundaries of design and material. Citco has been the house of Creative Talks podcast for the last month, and it's such an honor and a pleasure for me to sit here and talk with Mr. Rasool personally, and thank you for hosting us during this time.
Thank you for the introduction, for having me.
Thanks. Well, I would like to talk a little bit more about Citco Italy. How is it that you became a producer of marble pieces? How did that start?
That it was never planned. It all started back in 1988, so 2 years before Citco was actually born.
Okay.
And I was living in London and working in London, where I have also my family, mother, brother, and sister. And I went for a 2-week holiday in Florence, in Italy. And it was then that a friend of mine called saying that he would like to introduce me to his cousin, who at the time got a very big marble contract supply for Saudi Arabia. A marble supply that needed a delivery time of 2 years in different stages. And basically, what they wanted was to have someone to inspect all the material during production and during shipping to avoid any problems with the marble, etc., etc. So, yeah, I thanked him for the thought, but I told him that I was the wrong person. Number one, because I didn't speak Italian. Number two, because I didn't know anything about marble. Number three, I had a job in London and I had family in London.
Okay.
So Italy was a holiday destination for me, but definitely wasn't thinking of working in Italy. So at the end, he said, okay, well, you can always go to dinner with my cousin, have a chat. I said, absolutely, will love to meet him. So, yeah, so I met his cousin, and after dinner, he said, my cousin said, you are the right person.
Wow.
I said, well, your cousin is a big liar. And I told him the exact 4 reasons that I had told his cousin why I am not the right person. At this point, he said, he looked at me and he said, no, that's exactly why you are the right person. And I thought, man, he must have had too much to drink, like, what are you talking about? So he said, you're young. Our job is quite easy, although it's a big job, but it was all one type of granite at the time, which made life easier for me, of course, just to learn one type.
Which one?
It was a granite from Sardinia. It's called Rosa Beta.
Okay.
So basically, in the ABC of the marble, it is the A, to be very
Okay.
honest. It's a gray granite with black and pink spots.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, as long as there are no cracks, no black spots, no broken angles, these are the things that you have to look for. Everything else basically is good. And so he said it is going to last 2 years, which was the delivery time needed.
What were they building?
Justice Palace in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And he said during these 2 years, you will be visiting many factories because the production was obviously with many factories, different factories. It will give you a chance to learn about marble. It will, in the 2 years, I'm sure you will learn Italian. And then you can go back to London and who knows, maybe start something of your own,
Mm-hmm.
And you can always add on your CV that you speak Italian, you know something about marble. And then he put a number on the salary as well, on what he was offering. The number was a bit ridiculous at the time for me in the sense that it was very, very low in comparison to what I was doing in London.
Right.
But he said, that's the only thing that I'm not willing to discuss today. This is what I can offer, but you never know. Maybe in 6 months we'll talk about it again. So I said, think about it and let me know. I had a sleepless night. I literally didn't have any sleep because on the one hand, I was thinking, how am I going to cope with this salary? It will barely pay for my expenses, maybe. But on the other hand, there was, I can learn Italian. I can learn something new, marble and everything. I can definitely go back to London and start maybe some small business of mine. So in the morning, I said yes.
No way. Wow. And here we are. Look at this. Look at all the pieces that now you produce.
So from there, I did my 2 years, which was a very, very good experience. I'm very glad that I did. And in 1990, I thought, why go back to London to do it? I'm in Verona. I'm the heart of the marble industry. Verona is, if I need to go to Verona, it's only 1.5 hour flight to London. From Verona, it's only 1.5 hour flight. So I might as well just start something in Verona, and let's see how things go. And that's how it started in 1990 with a small marble trading, not production, just trading office.
And Verona, it's a big producer, or where you can find the stones are there.
It is the center of the marble in the world, to be very honest. So
what comes from Verona? The Carraras?
No, Carrara comes from, all the Carrara and Statuario materials come from the Carrara area, but where there are the quarries of the Statuario, Caracata, the Carrara, but as production factories, Verona is very, very big.
That's where it is.
Yeah. And we have a few types of marble in Verona, but then again, marble and granite today are over 1,500 types, which come from all over the world, from Brazil, from the US, from Canada, from Africa, India, you name it, everywhere in the world, there are quarries of marble and granite. But as I said, Verona is the center. So everything basically used to come to Verona, and there you can choose whatever blocks you need and take it from the block all the way through the rest of the processing.
So you fell in love with the stone. So you fell in love with the marble.
I did. It was very, very interesting to me. And the nice thing was that I wasn't getting bored with it. It wasn't something where you would say, okay, I've learned everything and there is nothing else to learn. So there was always something new to learn, whether it was a new type of marble or whether it was a new type of technique. So yeah, it is very, very interesting, and I really loved it. It's something that goes into your blood after a while.
And that leads me to the next question, which is how has Citco evolved since its founding in 1990 to become a leader in contemporary marble design?
Yeah. So as I told you before, it all started as a trading company. So I knew many factories in the 2 years ahead of Citco's establishment. And of course, in the years after, I got to know many other factories as well around the Verona and the Carrara area, and even abroad in Spain, in Portugal. So basically, I was in the in between. I was the in between man between the client and the supplier. So I carried on doing the let's say the inspection, making sure that the material was okay before it gets delivered, making sure that delivery is on time. This was my job on behalf of the client to do and to follow up. And this went on for quite a long time. So it was from 1990 until 2006. So for 16 years. Of course, it grew in the meanwhile, in the sense that when we started, it was me and another person helping me. And it grew during these 16 years to have more collaborators because it was getting bigger and bigger. But what was mostly annoying was the uh, making sure or trying your best to make sure that everything is okay when everything was not okay. And you could only insist so much with the suppliers, after which it would get into a fight, sort of. So there was always a delay in delivery. The quality was good, but it was not perfect, And as I said, at the end of the day, it was for the client, I was the person responsible. He couldn't care less about what the supplier was doing because obviously it was
You
me
were the
signing the
owner rep.
contract. So it was my name, it was my face. And 16 years of this is very good in the sense that you really get lots of experience. You get to know so many different factories, but at the same time, it gets very, very tiring, when you always need to sort of
Right. To list to get attend claims and
exactly. So yeah. So one day I just woke up and I said, "That's it. Enough. We are starting our own production. We need to start our own production, whereby we can control the quality, control the delivery. If we had to do few extra hours or work during the weekend to meet the delivery time, we will. But at least it is under our own control." And we started from there. Starting from there, obviously, 2006, there were hundreds of factories around me. So to start from zero and try to do the same exact thing that all the 100 factories are doing was not something that would work. I knew from the beginning it wouldn't work. It would only be about competition, about price, because we're all giving everybody the same product. So it all would come down to who is cheaper. And for someone that starts, it's very, very difficult, obviously. So I had to think, as we say, out of the box. What can I do that has not been done so far in the marble industry? What can I bring into the marble industry that is new? And one thing that I noticed that nobody had ever done was involve designers into designing marble pieces for the marble company. So it's one thing when a marble company is commissioned to do something for an architect.
Right. And it's his project.
It's the architect's product, end of story, for a specific project or for a show or for whatever. It's something else when you when an architect or a designer is designing something for you that is yours and that remains yours, you know. And that's what I decided to do.
That's wonderful.
And
And
I
with the
think that
great
that was
collaborators.
one of the biggest challenges in everything that I did, because at the end of the day, I had to go and knock on doors.
And propose something nobody had done.
Yeah, but you're talking to top architects and designers, you know, and you're like, I would like you to design something for me. And they would be like, yeah, but who are you? You know, I just started the factory, and so it wasn't exactly easy to convince, because obviously, and rightly, the architects wanted to make sure that whatever is designed by them and had their name on it as well as yours,
It has
had
to
be a
be
perfect
piece.
And how were you going to prove to them that you can do it when you had just started? So it wasn't a very easy task.
Challenge.
And who
was your first commission? Who did you work first with? Zaha Hadid?
No, actually, the first collaborations were with Ferruccio Laviani. Ferruccio designs for many brands, for Cartel. He did.
Is this Laviani?
This is Ferruccio Laviani, yes, correct. And this one is Ferruccio Laviani.
Ferruccio Laviani, which has been the mural during the whole season. It's beautiful. Combination of a lot of marbles.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing in his head and his ideas and the way he thinks. I love Ferruccio. Very, very nice person, and obviously, needless to say, very good top designer. With Zaha, it was a bit more difficult.
Yes.
With Zaha, it was a bit more difficult in the sense that I knew Zaha from London days when I was living in London, because we had met at friend's house for dinner, for some occasions and everything, and I knew Zaha. But I did not want to reach out to Zaha by contacting her. I just wanted to follow the normal path. So my very first contact was info@zahahadid.com.
Email. That was your approach. Not using your friendship or that you knew her and you didn't go to her personally.
And that went on for about a year, because I think the first 10 or 15 emails were not even answered. But I suppose insisting gets you somewhere. So at the end, it was answered. I got an appointment with her staff. I went to London. I met them. I showed them the things that we had already done with Ferruccio, and in a few different exhibitions. That was in 2011. So we had already been doing things for 5 years. Yes, not a very long time, but we had done quite a lot. And when they saw the photos and the catalogs, they were impressed. And I invited them to come and visit Citco headquarters to see the actual thing, not just the photos, because photos never do justice to the product,
And sorry to interrupt you. At the time, she didn't have museum pieces of her own at all, or did she?
No.
It was Citco.
She had done one piece in marble before that for a company, but that was it. It was the one piece. It ended there.
So it wasn't a product that she imagined to produce ever.
No.
So it was Citco who gave us that.
Yeah, correct. So when her staff came and they saw the machinery, they saw the guys, they saw what we had already produced, it opened a new page for them as well. Because then they started thinking, so you have done this, so maybe if we design something, maybe you can try and do it. I said, no, that's exactly what you have to do. Make my life impossible, design whatever you have to design, and leave the rest to me. Let it be my nightmare to worry about doing these things. And I always said something, and I still always say it, I don't want to do the possible. Everyone can do the possible. So you're really wasting your time and bothering doing something when everyone can do it. let me try and do what you think is impossible, and let me fail time over time until I get it done, because I will get it done. I love challenges. That's what keeps me going. You know, as soon as there is a challenge, there is a light, there is
Yes.
fun starts.
Right.
And I must say that this is not something that is only in me. It is something that is within all my collaborators. So everybody in the company is thinking the same way like I am thinking. So it's a beautiful teamwork. It's not just Cameron's work.
It's the philosophy behind your company.
It is
to do the impossible.
To do the impossible. To have something that's a challenge.
There are no rules. I see.
No, there are no rules.
I see your bathtubs. I see all your sculptures.
There are no rules. We don't want rules.
The bamboos that
we
you
want
do
to take
in marble.
the machine to the extreme. You see, when you talk to a machine producer who's giving you a CNC or a robot machine or whatever, and you say, "What can this do?" The answer is that they don't know, and it's true. You know, so it all at the end of the day, it's a beautiful sports car or whatever, but it also depends on the pilot that is driving it. How far can he take it? You know. So it's all these pilots on these machines, all these operators on these machines that would know how far, what is the extreme that they can take the machine to. And as a matter of fact, a collaboration started between us and the machine manufacturing people, whereby they are bringing all their clients to our showroom in Italy to show them what can be done. Because when the clients
because you were the one who...
Yeah, because when the client asks them, what can your machine do? They're like, hold on, I'll take you somewhere where you can see what these machines can do, you know?
Incredible.
So yeah, it's a continuous challenge and a lovely one. I love it. I love it because, as I said, everyone in the company loves it.
Spirit. Have the same spirit.
Everyone is, I would say, even happier than me when we finally managed to finish something that until a month before was thought impossible, you know, and you finally, you know,
you celebrate each time.
It is a celebration every time. It's true. It's true.
And how can you describe in short words, what is the technology to produce all these pieces, if there is any summarized way to say it? Or is it too long and complicated?
As I said, technology keeps evolving in every field, and including marble field. Today, if we need to talk about technology, we have CNC machines, obviously, which keep improving with programs, with utensils, with everything.
It's with robotics and
robotics. Of course, we have robot, and we have water jet cutting machines with very, very high pressure water cutting, and that's how you do all the inlays. You cut them exactly the way you want without having any joints, zero joints, perfectly inlaid, you know. So it is these machines. So machines obviously helps a lot to do the bigger, the rougher part. And then it comes down to the artist, to the people that are in there, because everything is hand finished. There is no one single machine that gives you a finished piece. So it does some of the work for you. In some cases, it could be 10% of the work. In some cases, it can be 90% of the work. But the hand finishing is always there. And there you really need people that know what they're doing, and they've been doing it for a very, very long time. So,
and I'm pretty sure right now, big designers and big architects now, they reach out to you because they want to produce their fireplace or their special piece.
That is correct. That is correct. So as I said, it was a very, very, and just going back 1 minute to Zaha, which was a very nice story actually. So yeah, eventually when they came and they saw everything, and they started to understanding the capability of the company and the team behind it, they designed the first 6 murals. So it was 6 different murals which we did with Zaha. And we had our first show in Milan.
This was at the Salone del Mobile or a
So
different?
it was outside. It was Fori Salone. The first one was the Fori Salone. We started in the Fori Salone. And yeah, there was all this thing about Zaha coming to the opening and not coming to the opening. And eventually it was, yes, she is coming to the opening. So as she reached the airport, and I knew from her assistant that she was on her way to the hotel, I was waiting for her at the reception. And as soon as she walked in, she looked at me and she was like, "Hi, Camiran, how are you?" I said, "I was
At this point, she knew who she was dealing with, that it was you, or no?
No, she didn't.
This is the first time
It was the first
she
time.
knows that it was you that she knew.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she said hello. I said hello. And she's like, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Well, actually, you are here for me." And she looked at me and she started laughing. And she said, "Yeah, well, I'm here for a company, Citco. They do marble in Italy. We're doing a collaboration with them and we have a show." So I said, "Zaha, Citco is me. I am Citco."
Wow.
And she looked at me shocked because she didn't know. And she looked at her assistant and she's like, "Why didn't anyone tell me?" So I stopped her. I said, "Zaha, nobody knew that I knew you. And I never said that I knew you.
That's incredible.
All during the collaboration, and she understood immediately that I did not take advantage of the friendship. Mm-hmm. And for her, that was something very big. And my real love relationship with Zaha started exactly in that very moment. Her understanding that you don't take advantage, I think for her was something very, very...
That she came to you because she was impressed really with what you could do.
Absolutely. So after that, we did something every year. It became something automatic, you know. As I said, it was a love, win-win relationship. And it was a fantastic collaboration.
The first show was murals. And then she started making pieces that you could use around the house, like the sculptures,
absolutely.
The wine racks, the tables, the benches.
Absolutely. We did a very, very big collection with Zaha. It's a beautiful collection. It's a collection forever. Shame it is a limited collection, so only obviously few pieces can be done. But every single piece is art, it's perfection, it's beauty, it is smoothness, it's curves, it's you name it, it's in each and every piece.
I've seen them here at Citco. There are a few pieces for display that have been in the museums in the US.
Absolutely.
And then in Italy, I'm sure you
in
have.
the Maxi, there have been so many places. To be honest, like I lost count and I can't even remember. But all the way from the very far east, from China to Hong Kong to Vietnam.
Her pieces are around the world.
The Emirates, the US, Europe, everywhere. Yeah, they have been everywhere.
And what happens now that Zaha is not with us? Is there somebody still designing for her studio that you continue to develop?
Her studio has continued designing and developing, and it was a question that obviously everyone asked when Zaha wasn't there. But obviously, the basis that she had planted,
the essence is there,
continued, and I'm very, very happy for her legacy to continue and for all the people, obviously, that are working at the Zaha Hadid office and studios to still be there and to still get all these beautiful projects around the world. So I'm very happy for them.
Great.
Yeah, obviously.
And is there anything coming in the future where you can just give us a preview of there's going to be an exposition of new pieces from the studio, or nothing yet cooking?
There is always something new. Now, this is something that obviously worries us every time we finish a show, every time we finish Salone. What is next? And over the years, people's expectations start to become, you know, okay, so they've done this, they've done this. What are they going to do next, you know? Is it going to be as good? Is it going to be worse? Is it going to be better, you know? So it's not an easy one. And so many things that you start planning from one year to the other, because as soon as we finish Salona, we start thinking, obviously, about what are we going to do next, And it's not an easy one. And as much as we try to do things in the very first months, try to do things, finish them, it always ends up deciding and doing things just 2 months before the show, everything that you
always happens. Yeah, that is the world of the creatives. You're always working against the time.
And of course, also, this is not only for the design, but this is also for the same goes for the materials, because so many people now, quarry owners, reach out to us to do something.
They want to work with you.
Want to work with us in promoting their materials, their new quarries. So Citco has become, in a way, a reference point in the stone industry, where people know that if Citco has decided to use this material, it is going to be the material of the next year. It's going to be the material of the next 2 years, So it's a bit like the fashion industry. Right. It has become a bit like the fashion industry,
Yeah, so you have to stay with a trend for a period of time.
Absolutely.
And there was a lot of black and white on the last one, I believe, marbles.
It's a new quarry from Brazil. Mm-hmm. And the quarry owner reached out to us asking if we could collaborate and use this material in the show. So obviously, when you say white and black, in a way it is, everything is white. But this was very, very special and particular in the way it was, the material structure was very, very nice.
Yeah. I said black and white because I saw the pictures. I wasn't at Salone last year, but the previous one, when I went, there was a green wall, magnificent green wall. So there was a lot of green at that show. And so correct. I just talk in colors, but definitely this is richer than that.
Correct. And that's another Brazilian quarry as well. Yes. Brazil has a lot to offer when it comes to stones and quarries and marble and granite and quartz materials, crystals. There's a lot that it offers. It's a very, very rich country with natural minerals. So that was, a collaboration with another company, of course, as well.
And there were some pieces that had a little bit of transparency in the last one, like acrylic.
They're translucent, absolutely. That's the thing. It's the structure of the material is like a crystal or quartz, so they're translucent and light does pass through. So,
and there was a very iconic chair I saw in the reviews. Who was that from?
That's the great Ron Arad. I love Ron.
Are we ever gonna see that one here in Miami?
Definitely. Actually, last year I had a sofa that was designed by Ron. We had it exhibited during Art Miami. And fortunately or unfortunately, it was sold to a dear person. So I'm happy that it found a good place. So, yeah.
That's right. This year, there is Art Miami here in Miami. And what is coming to the show?
That, again, is going to be a last-minute decision. We're waiting for a few pieces to arrive within, hopefully, the next couple of weeks. And then we have to make a selection of what we are going to be using in the space. Yeah. But hopefully you will like it.
Well, we definitely all can go and visit this exhibition.
Absolutely.
Here.
I'd be glad to receive all of them.
I would like to talk a little bit more about other collaborations. There is Norman Foster. What did Citco do with the architect?
With Norman Foster, we did 2 tables at the time that were designed by him. And we are talking to them this year to do something for next Salone. And the very nice thing that really gives you satisfaction, and this has happened with Zaha, this has happened with Norman, is that they are buying their own pieces from us. So obviously we're doing something good with the design for them to look at it and actually purchase their own design, you know? So yeah, obviously by contract, they do get a piece just like us to keep for them. But that one piece was not enough. They wanted to purchase another piece. So
and how many can you make when you
it's all
five?
It's all different limited editions depending on what we're doing. So in some cases it's 5. In the wall murals with Zaha, it's 3. So it's 6 different murals, but we can only do 3 of each. There are others where you have 12 and some 24. So it all depends on the agreement with obviously with the designer, with the artist, with the architect.
And there's also other like smaller pieces that you have brought to the Art Basel. Last year there was one. I don't remember the artist, but it's also here in the showroom in Miami.
Yeah,
that has. It has pictures and it has.
I'll have to remember because, to be very honest, you have so many things and everything. But yeah.
Well, then let's move on and talk about Batman, because that's another iconic figure from Citco. There's a huge Batman real size in Citco in Miami.
Correct.
And there's one right next to you. How did that happen?
Well, Batman was the idea of my son, who's a fan of Batman, obviously, just like any young boy. But we had just bought a new, huge robot machine that was designed particularly for us. And as soon as we had the new robot machine in the factory, my son's first thing that came into his mind was, Dad, can we do a Batman with the robot? I said, yeah, maybe we can talk about it. Then I had to take a business trip, and by the time I came back, the piece of marble doing for the Batman was already under the robot machine. Obviously, he had told them that I said yes.
Oh, wow. And this is a Nero Marquina?
This is Nero Marquina, yeah.
And this is one block?
One block, just one block. And it's all obviously carved and using the robot machine. And then again, obviously, the hand finishing.
And it can be done in any scale.
Can be done any scale, in any different marble colors or whatever. And of course, that's not the only thing. I mean, as I said, with these machines, it's limitless, the things that you can really do.
What has been the most challenging job that Citco has received as a commission to do over these years? Or one of the most challenging?
To be very honest, very, very honest, and I really mean this, everything was a challenge. I don't know if something is more of a challenge than the other. There was one particular table, yes, in the white Carrara, which is
the one outside?
The one outside. And that was designed again by Ferruccio. And the guys in the factory thought, you know what? So I have this thing about doing everything in one solid piece, carved out from one block.
Which is...
It's always been in my head, you know. I always wanted...
it's a characteristic of all your pieces.
So we had very short time before the exhibition, as usual. And they said, this is something that is impossible. We always say we do the impossible, but this we are not going to do. It's too much of a risk, especially before the exhibition. And we don't want to fail. It has to be in the exhibition. So it was made from 4 different rings, circles, which were then glued together to take it to the show. After that, I kept insisting on the guys, we have to do another one out of one block. And it was always like forget it, it's not happening. And since we were always busy or always busy doing something else, we would have a discussion about it and then it would be forgotten, you know? And
But
one
you
day
never forgot.
they thought I forgot.
I never forgot.
So one day, yeah, I called them. I said, we're doing the table in one piece. And they all looked at me and they're like, we can't. I said, yes, we can. You know what will happen? We might break the machine. We might break the block. I'll take responsibility for that. It's not your fault.
But let's try.
We're doing it. We are trying at least. Let's fail. It doesn't matter. I will not blame any of you. I'll blame myself. But let's do it. So, yeah, it made them, I think I just made them feel at ease.
Right.
I didn't teach them anything. They knew how to do everything.
Mhm. They
As
were
I
just
said, they are
scared
the real
to-
masters behind it. It was, yeah, somehow, because obviously they don't want to take a block and ruin it, knowing that they're throwing your money out
Right.
down the drain, you know? So once I took that responsibility of them, they had a go. And they succeeded the very first time without any
Wow.
breakage, without anything. They took their time, obviously, because they needed to take some time. But as I told you before, once it was done, I was very happy. They were happier.
Of course. Of course. And is the table, the Zaha Hadid table, also one block?
Zaha Hadid is one block.
Wow, that's a massive
It is a
table.
massive block. It's all cut out of one block, and it's a massive block.
Do you have
And
any idea how much it weighs?
weight is about 1,300 kilos. So that makes what, 2,500 pounds or whatever, just over.
Also
So it's-
Nero Marquina?
no, that's Nero Assoluto granite. Yeah.
Yeah. Granite.
Me and you won't be able to lift it, put it this
Never.
way.
No, I cannot even lift this one.
No,
That
if you
is
lift
right.
it, you can have it for free.
Then I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Everybody wants that table. That table should go to the 1000 Museum, to one of their apartments. That should be the perfect home, right?
Absolutely. So yeah, obviously we know how to do the transportation. We know how we have all the necessary equipment to take this. But yeah, it's been in a few apartments, and it hasn't moved from there. But they're very, very happy that it hasn't moved. They don't want it to move.
Well, I know you got a recognition, an award. I don't know if you can tell us a little bit about that. It's the Order of Merit of the Italian Republic, a
Yes.
prestigious recognition.
That came as a very, very nice surprise because it was something that I had never even thought of. So it's one of the highest rewards that you can get from the president, which at the time was President Napolitano of Italy. And I came into the office and my secretary said, the police are looking for you. I'm like, excuse me? What do you mean the
What did
police
I
are
do?
looking for Why? You know, they called. Okay, did they leave a number? How do I call them back? No, they said they will call back. I said, okay,
Sleepless
so
night
you
again.
start thinking, you're sure of yourself that you haven't done anything for the police to look for you, maybe a parking ticket, but that's, but why would, the way she put it to me, I said, okay. And not long, so half an hour later, she called me and she said, I have them online. I said, okay, let me talk to them. So I said, yes, good morning. How can I help you? And they're like, we've been looking for you for over a month. I said, oh my God.
This
For
is
a
serious.
month looking for me. And as it happened, I had just changed my mobile number, and they probably had an
couldn't
old
reach you.
mobile number or whatever. I don't know. I'm like, okay, I'm here. So what can I do for you? No, because you've been awarded the merit, the knighthood. So it's basically like in London, you have the title Sir.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the knighthood. It's one of the highest merits, as I said, by the Republic of Italy and the president at the time. And that was exactly because of Citco, because of the fact that we had in such a short time employed many people, and for the fact that we brought innovation into
The world of design.
the world of design, the world of marble. So obviously, maybe for a while I thought it is, maybe one of these jokes, candid camera, something like that. It wasn't, because after which they took my new phone number and everything and my email, and they sent me the communication. So it was 10 minutes later, I realized that it wasn't a joke.
You deserve it for your vision, for your service, for everything you do for the trade.
Absolutely. So it's an honor for me, obviously, to get this title.
That's great.
And it is not something that is given away that easy. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And is your family working with you? They all involved in Citco?
My family is and is not. So in a way, my son is helping a lot in many things. My daughter just graduated. She got her master's from London Architecture, which
I was going to say, definitely there has to be an architect or designer in the family.
Yes, she graduated from the AA, which is the Architecture Association. She got her master's. She is helping
Can
us.
we know her name? Because I know there's going to be pieces in the future.
Well, she actually did the fireplace in the last salon. The fireplace,
well, that fireplace,
the round fireplace, the one in the
here.
center, that was designed by her.
Beautiful.
So I'm very, very proud of her. Yeah, her name is Vian, Vian, and she's very, very talented. She's helping us a lot. She loves it, actually. But I'm trying to push her away from Citco for a simple, it's always hers. I mean, I have a son and a daughter, and it's theirs, obviously. The factory is theirs, everything is theirs. But because she studied so hard to get her master's in a university like the AA, which is not an easy one to graduate from, I would like her to have her own studio as well.
Architectural studio.
Yes.
And pursue
Citco's
her
always there
career.
for her. She's always involved in Citco, but I would like her to do her thing as well. I would be very, very happy and proud for her. And so these are obviously my son and my daughter. And then obviously the most important person that's behind all this thing, as they say, there's a great woman behind
the wife. Yes, I met your wife.
So maybe in this case, it's me behind her.
I met your wife in Milan 2 years ago. She's wonderful.
She's a very, very hard worker. She loves what we're doing. And we're doing two different things in the same place. So everyone has his own homework to do.
Okay.
And the union of these two things is the right recipe for the success of Citco. So, I owe a lot to her. She's
amazing.
always supported me in maybe crazy decisions. You need someone to believe in you sometimes, when you are doing something that is maybe we should call risky or abnormal.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have someone pulling you back, then you obviously
won't do it. But if one person believes in you, then you have.
If they believe in you,
you
start believing in yourself twice as much. Yes. And obviously that's very, very important.
Well, I want to thank you because it's been an inspiring conversation. Everything that you have accomplished since you started in 1988, just by overviewing the marble world, and that has become Citco. It's just amazing for me to be sitting here next to you.
Thank you
know
very
so
much.
many talented architects and designers that we all look up to, and
we owe a lot to them as well, and we have to thank them for collaborating with us.
Well, thank you for giving us the space to bring this information to the trade in Miami. For everything that you do here, you have an amazing team, an amazing team, and their hospitality is amazing, and it talks about how is the company behind it, what is your philosophy, how they are. It really reflects what you
I'm
guys
very
do.
lucky to have the team that I have. I owe all of it to them.
Wow.
It's a very good feeling.
And now we're going to talk with your team for another episode of Creative Talk. So stay tuned for that show. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for your time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Creative Talks podcast. Your 5-star reviews really help us continue what we do. Please rate your listening experience, and let's keep building this beautiful community together. For exclusive access to more design content, visit thearchitecturalauthority.com or download our app from the App Store or Google Play. Until next time, take care and keep creating.